Hello everyone. So we have Shreyans here with his final demonstration for GSoC 2017 as part of the PC Prep Kit project. So over to you, Shreyans.
Okay, thank you, Vidya. I'm Shreyans Srimal, and I've been working on PC Prep Kit as my GSoC project for 2017. So I'm from Hyderabad, India. I've recently moved after my computer science degree from IIT Bhubaneswar, and I'm also a YouTuber. So that's all about me. And so why did I choose PC Prep Kit? Is because I had a little experience with web applications and I wanted to work on it because it would be easier. And then this application had very latest technologies like Node and Angular 4 is very new that we didn't have proper documentation and Stack Overflow support and all. And then the interactive ideas in this application, they were very good. So I was interested in it and I applied for it. So the team had Buddhi Prabha as our admin. She was a GSoC mentor in 2016 and a student in 2012 and 15. Jennifer Koyo, Riddham Bhatia, and Visita Bedakama were GSoC mentors, and under them, me and Rajat, worked on the whole PC Prep Kit application. This is how we worked. And so about PC Prep Kit, it is a web application which is aimed to spread awareness about malaria. And why is it important to spread awareness about malaria? It is because the World Health Organization, so there's a World Health Organization states 10 facts about malaria in the source given. So it says that nearly half of the world's population is at risk with malaria, and early diagnosis and treatment of malaria can prevent deaths. So if we know the information and we can diagnose it early enough, then we can prevent the deaths. And it says that mortality rates are falling down because of the prevention measures. So this is another one such preventive measure, awareness measure, precisely. So it spreads awareness about the symptoms, preventive measures, treatments, medicines, and side effects. And the target audience is the Peace Corps volunteers. So the features I proposed was considering I alone work in the project, but then I had Rajat, who also worked alongside me. So then we added the proposed applications and then divided the work accordingly. Uh, so finally, I had worked on the registration and verification page, the PC policy mail page, and some activities mentioned here, which I'll be showing in the demo. So the special features of this application is very modular. All the UI components are separatable. You can simply delete any one of these and they'll again work. It is very scalable. The SCSS structure and the project structure overall is very scalable. It's very easy to add up, and all the activities are also very easy to change. You want to add something new, you can modify it very easily. So it is also usable. The UI components are used again and again at different places, and APIs and services are reusable too. So the APIs can also be used from the mobile applications through HTTP requests, and the token. It is based on the token-based application. So token-based authentication, I'm sorry. So everyone can use it through any UI. Then it has multi-language support. So what we did was we separated out all these strings from the UI and put it in a separate file. And now when we want a different language, we can add the language file for that language. So these are the main features. I mean, these are the features on which the application is built on. The technologies used are Angular 4. So we use Angular 4 has TypeScript, not JavaScript, and HTML and SCSS. The UI is responsive. For backend, we have Node.js, which has REST APIs and the routes. The REST APIs can again be used by mobile applications or any other applications. So the database is MySQL, and we have SQLized ORM to prevent to save the work of database. So I'll start with the demo. So this demo also contains the work done by Rajat. So I'll be quickly moving through my parts and telling which are my parts. So this is the splash screen page which I've created, and this is the login page which I've not worked on this. Rajat has worked on this. So the registration page is something which I've worked on. So I'll register and show you. So I have this temporary email. So this has validations too. So once it is touched, this happens. So and once all the things are valid, you can click on the sign up button, and you get a message here if it's successful. So once it is successful, you can now log in. You also get a mail, the verification mail, which generally takes little time. And so this is taking a little more time than. So we'll continue and check the mail later on, because we can, however, log in without the verification. Verification is just to verify. So this is the landing page, default landing page of the application. The introduction, the main menu page is created by Rajat. I've worked on header, this nav bar, and the footer. Footer is not seen here, will be which will be seen later on. This is info kit. This is something which I've worked on, and the default message it shows is no info kit available. But as we proceed through activities, we will have info kit available. So we even got the verification mail, and the verification mail looks like this, and we can click on the verify button. I'll do it later in the demo. So this is introduction, and the it just says that you can go to the next activity. This is something created by Rajat, so I'll quickly move through it. And if you can see, this is the activity indicator and the footer. So this gets activated. It shows the number of activities completed in the introduction, completed in the particular stage. So in this case, in the introduction stage, we have completed one activity, which was that. And now we can email it to ourselves, and we'll get this. And once you get this, you can move to the next activity. And hopefully you must have got the PC policy too. So we do not have policy yet, so we just put a string, and we can later replace it with the policy as and when we get it. And then we can, this is activity which Rajat has created, and I'll quickly move over it just to complete and move to the next activity. This activity will not have any info kit, because this is kind of a introduction activity. And this is done. So once you complete every activity in a stage, the activity indicator resets, and you're shown this screen. This now you can go back to the main menu and choose the next stage. So this again created by Rajat, so I won't describe it much. I'll just So, okay. Huh, this worked. So this is the drag and drop activity which I've worked on, and here you have to uh, drag the right answers. If you can do that activity, then you have to drag it into do's box, and if you can't, you have to drag it in the don'ts box. And before that, I would like to show you the info kit. So it is active for all the activities which we have completed, and once we click on malaria, it shows the definition of malaria. And once we click on this, we do not have this information. I've just added some information for the sake of adding information, but we can add little more information as and when we uh, go on into the development. So the this activity works like this. You cannot drop it into the wrong box. You have to drop it into the right box. Again, in this activity, these can be very simply added by changing just one file. The and any of them can be removed. They can be changed very easily. And if you see, the info kit is also active. The do's and don'ts. I've added some information, not all. So this is it for the do's and don'ts activity. It's again responsive. Uh, if I resize it, it's responsive. The application. So this is the odd one out activity. Rajat has created it, so I'll quickly move through it. Okay, so we have completed this stage, and then we can go to the next stage. So this stage is the medications and labels stage. Here, the first activity is this. You'll have to match the medicines with its right side effects, and you can start matching from here and do it anyway. And I mean, you can draw anything and it will work. You just have to connect it to the right dot finally. And if the matchings are incorrect, you are shown the incorrect message. If the matchings are correct, oh, I'm sorry. If the matchings are correct, it shows good job, and then the activity is complete. And then this changes to the right description. Now you have to match it to the right description. Previously, we had to match it to the right side effects, and we can resize it. This is again uh, yeah, responsive. So now matching it with the right description will match the right answers. So once this activity is in, you can reset it and do it again, but you can then move to other things also. And then this gets activated in match the meds. So info kit. And this is something Rajat has created, so I'd like to skip over it because it's time taking. And show you the chat with doctor application. This is kind of a chatbot, a doctor chatbot, which answers the question regarding malaria. So if you have any questions related to malaria, you can ask it. It will try to reply. So basic features here are it will try to give you prevention measures. It can ask you symptoms and check if you have malaria and how likely you have malaria, and it can tell you the side effects of medicines and describe the medications. And this again is created in such a way that you can add a lot of features, you can train it, and you can add a lot of examples to increase its functionality by to make it cover more information. So let me give you a demo here. So let's ask it to give some prevention tips. So it gives one tip at a time, and we can ask it in different ways. So one tip at a time, and you can go on. If you type any thing which doesn't make sense, it gives this reply, and then you can ask it. So it asks you to give symptoms, and you have to give symptoms which are one of these. And if you so if I give this, it says it is less likely that you have malaria because it's just one symptom. However, it asks us to visit the doctor. I'll ask again. So So it says you have quite a lot of symptoms related to malaria. So how it works is it has a score assigned for each of the symptom, and it adds up the score. And if the score is greater than a threshold, it gives this. It There are 3 degrees, so it says you're more likely, less likely, and you might have malaria. So these are the uh, then this is the check malaria feature of this app. Then you can ask it tell, so it tells you about malaria medication. uh, a lot of content here. So it gives you the side effects also, and there is one more feature which is not complete yet. I couldn't complete it because I didn't have the information. So you can ask if it's safe to take that medicine. It asks you for your age and gender. So based on the age and gender, if we have the information, which medicines are uh, applicable for which age and gender group, then we can do this. I didn't have a reliable information on this, so I uh, put a generic reply for now. Uh, it even has to check if it's pregnant, if the female is pregnant. Uh, so when you put male, I'm a 21-year-old male, it gives you this message. And so it says it is very harmful in pregnancies, but this feature has to be expanded. It has to ask if you're pregnant and then check the medicine based on decision tree. I didn't have reliable information on this, so I didn't, but this is something for the future. And then it works on basic greetings. I and all these. So this is it for the medications and labels. And once you complete it, you have this. But this again, information can be added. So once you do this, you've successfully completed, and you can go back to the main menu. And once you go back to the main menu, you have PC policy, which is we do not have a policy yet, so it doesn't work. And log stage is something created by Rajat, so that is it. We can log out, and then I'd like to show you the verification thing. So once you click on verify, if the token is, it's like one-time password. If the token matches with the database, it says verified successfully, and then you can, however, you could log in before itself, but then just to check the email. So this is about the feature, and I've done some testing also. So I've used Mocha Super Test and uh, should library should.js to do the backend API testing, and uh, there are some test cases which work. All the test cases work. More test cases can be added. I haven't tested the Doctor Chat API because it was based on the third-party APIs, and then there were few things which are based on redirection. So I didn't test them because it was unable to handle redirection. And so this is it. This all the work I've done for GSoC. And then how can people contribute to it? So people can suggest new features, they can solve bugs, find out bugs first, and suggest UI enhancements and work on it. And then adding more test cases, and in cases where the API is changed, they can make the test cases changes to change the API. And the release is available on the develop branch, and you any computer or laptop with a web browser, you can work on it. So that is it. If you have any questions for me.
I have two questions. You mentioned in the do's or don'ts you can't drop it into the wrong box. Does
Yes.
that so even if I hovered over it, it just won't go into that box? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then my second question is, you're using a temporary email, but does it check for real emails? Like, what if I inputted my name with like a fake company email and it's not a usable email?
It sends a verification link to that mail, but we can enforce verification for login. But as for now, it doesn't check if that email is valid.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah. It checks the validations of the email, the string validations.
Okay, thank you.
Shreyans, what are the things you think you can do to improve the chat the doc module in the future?
So the the Doctor Chat module, it can be improved with giving it more examples. So it is machine learning based. The more examples you give, it tries to classify your sentences, whether what type of question you are asking, and tries to give the answer. So the more type of questions you put in the category there, the better the accuracy would be.
I had a last question. Did you ever show us the footer?
Footer was the activity indicator.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, what are the challenges you have faced, Shreyans, during this summer? Yes.
Okay, so there were many challenges. To start with, I had never used asynchronous backend server. So Node.js is asynchronous. So whenever you return a statement and then try to print it, it prints it first and then returns it. So it was a huge problem getting into the asynchronous mindset. It took me little time there, and then uh, there was one time where I faced a lot of issues with the APIs when we merged the APIs. Like me and Rajat both had changed the API, and we merged it, and then it didn't work for a few 1 or 2 days, and it took little time correcting it, and there were little hiccups here and there. The matching the image, making it responsive was also that thing was again very difficult to. So yeah, these were the only challenges.
Okay.
The Dr. Chat module is really interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have done a very good job, Shreyans, during the whole summer.
Thank you. Wouldn't have been possible without the mentors and
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop the broadcast if there aren't any more questions.
yeah.
Yes, no questions.
Okay.
No questions.